Hello, everyone, and welcome back to some more WARNO League action. And today, we gonna do a bit of Division 3 and 4, as we haven't covered them all that much yet. And the voice of Chloride has to recover. He is a bit sore in his throat, so we need to uh, get him a bit of time to recover, and instead cover a bit of Division 3 and 4 here, and go back into Division 1 when he is back into action. And we have a couple of good games here. Starting with the Helen versus syndi, two familiar names who played League before, and are here fighting in Division 4 this time around. With the Helen bringing around 7th Panzer, syndi bringing around 20th Panzerna. So T-72 versus T-72 action here. And a Finn being in the Helen gang when there's a Finnish player playing. Disappointing, Lord. We always thought you were a nationalist with all your talking points. And yeah, bans here. We have pretty extended ones. 11th, maybe a bit surprising, but the rest, 5th, the Div Mob, 1st Ankova, most played division. Not a great win rate, but pretty annoying. 4th Division, really high ban rate as well. And 56, I'm not sure if it's really that strong anymore, but yeah, PTSD is hard there. So that is banned as well. We have 20th Panzer versus 7th Panzer here, and then 4th Mordschützen versus 1st Canadian here on the end. So this is going to be interesting. And yeah, here on the left side, the Helen with 7th Panzer. It's a pretty aggressive T-72 division with good amount of cost efficiency, though the Polish one is even faster with the Honkaroos. Since the BMP-1 nerf and the nerfs to the T-55s, it's not insanely cost efficient behind it anymore. T-72s obviously have been nerfed over time on both sides here as well, but the Polish cost efficiency around their smokeless BMP-1 has been broken. So the division, I think, is still really strong, but it is a lot closer here in the balance. I still would argue that the Polish one is the slightly better one in this matchup, but it is pretty close. And we're gonna have an interesting start here from the Helen on the left side. Coming around with a couple of Shilkas. We'll try to go towards the center here. And on the other side, we have a decent amount of Superxavis. The Polish Superxavis are special in that they also have AT to bring around. Most other engineers don't have any anti-vehicle weapons. That makes them a lot more flexible, being good against infantry with the satchel charges, but also capable of at least pushing back light vehicles. The Komar is terrible as an RPG, but it is an RPG, and that's the big difference there. It is the weakest anti-tank weapon in the game, but it is an anti-tank weapon. And then we have Picatta smack down here in the south with some more T-72s, so giving up the center a bit here is syndi, only sending some ATGMs there, and the rest of the forces will spread out around the south and into the north. So interesting position as the right side player. You often see the right side here taking control over the middle by holding this, trying to hold this tree line, holding the buildings that they naturally get access to before the enemy. And especially with Honkaroos, you can get into this forest quite fast as well. But you obviously also can use that speed advantage on the flanks. For example, getting onto this spot here, shutting down this road here, and then getting the entrance into the forest. And in the south, getting to the building here first, winning Gregory that way, and getting into this tree line so that you have an entrance towards Feodor as well. So, Ryder has a good couple of ways to play it, and it seems to be that the Helen is playing the center route, whilst syndi is playing the exact opposite, so it's going to be interesting to see how this develops out of this. We have still a decent amount of forces here in the north for the Helen, more than syndi has. But syndi has the T-55AS. That can be really efficient once infantry gets bogged down into a direct fight. If the Helen doesn't see that, they could be in trouble. Ooh, the Honkaroos is actually going really deep here. And trying to get some line of sight there. But yeah, the T-55s here charging in. At 90 points, they're a far cry from their most efficient points when they were just 80 and got the rate of fire buff. But they are still pretty decent tanks. Good penetration, and BMP ones if they are in fire range, won't stand a chance against them. But currently it's only one Malyutka P here anyways in the middle. So the Helen should be able to run through, and then you're a bit stuck out on an open field, so long-range ATGMs and maybe even the T-72s could just pick you apart. Hellene find a quick victory here in the south, getting a kill. SPW 40P2 moving along towards the south, whilst the Superxavis get into the buildings, into the forest in the north. T-55AS could soon help out here. Yeah, there we go. We'll hit the Spezialaufklärer. Malyutka P here, not spotted. Starts to engage against the tanks as well. Gets a hit here. Not a lot of damage, but a start nonetheless. T-55AS gets the kill, immediately reloads. And the Superxavi here back in transports. Conquer spotting from this lower ground. Su-22 great unit as well to hunt down tanks, especially smokeless tanks. Gets the kill there. MiG-23 here will get the kill though. And for only one T-55A, that's not a worthwhile run. So, good kill there for the Helen. Superxavi trying to hold the line here against SPW 70. Chilka has to be careful. T-55 here pushing forward. Chilka pushing back the MiG-23 for now. Hellene in the middle, a bit stuck as well. Syndy's southern forces keep advancing. T-72M pushing on. These are the 15 frontal armor ones, so the T-55As at least can do some decent damage there, but they are on the back foot against them nonetheless. T-55AS, not the greatest hit this time around. Still do a decent amount of damage, but the damage done with the first shot was a lot better. No direct kill this time around. Malyutka pushed back, whilst Syndy Specialnies find more kills in the south. Chilka likely gonna get the kill onto the SPW here, but then the T-55A will come up. And it has veterancy over the one of Syndy, but it is already bit rest and it's slightly damaged as well. So Syndy's T-55AS could win this fight. The Chilka should disengage though. Not doing that just yet. T-72's coming up. Mi-24's coming up as well. Whilst the southern push here slowly advancing. T-55AD now pushing on. Whilst on the other side, still only T-55As and a Mi-24D. But with the Phalangas, it might not even be able to kill the T-72s with only 4 missiles. And Mi-24D here with Phalanga Ps on the other side as well. Both sides coming along with a decent amount of forces. Trying to get some shots out here. Whilst Specialnies get the flank again. Mi-24D goes down. T-55AD pushing up. Has to be careful. Will be spotted now, but the Ross Specialny helping out big time. Ooh, T-55A on the other side misses as well. AD misses again. Ross Specialny out of ammunition now. But the T-55AD still doesn't get hit, but doesn't get the hit either. T-72s could be helpful. Smack could be helpful here as well. T-55AD misses again, gets hit by the A. And the A finishes the job. No capture of the south here. T-55AS and M pushing along in the north. The AS got pushed out there. Malyutka and T-72M engaging against the T-55A. Starting to get some damage on there. Getting the kill. Whilst the Picotta Smack getting good hits against the T-55A in the south. T-72 versus T-72 action here. The M's now blocking the reinforcement road. Motschützen getting a good hit though. Ooh, that could be critical. Can they get another shot out? They can get another shot out. T-72s get the ambush at least against the reinforcing SVDs. But good kill nonetheless. BMP-1 here a bit stuck as well. We have a +1 for the blue side. Yes, Hospecialnies tried to find more. SVD here with weak RPG. Find the RPG 7VLs here. Get used up quite quickly right now. BMP-1 might be able to pin them down here before they get another shot out. Nope, goes down beforehand. Superxavi not helping out. Big mistake there by Syndy. Could have stunned this down otherwise. T-72s now engaging the RPG-18. Motschützen SVD. Can just take that head on actually. But disengages away from now. Will get a bit more shots out, but T72M1 already on the way. BMP1 on BMP1 action here, gets the stun, but runs out of ATGMs there. Whilst in the north, T72M just face checking the bush. This one doesn't have smoke. That makes it cheaper, but also less survivable in situations like this. And yeah, the MI2 might want to move around here, but the Shilka is around already. Gets an MI24 killed off and pushes on deeper now. T72M here without smoke as well. Makes it pretty good for forest fights, pretty cost efficient there, but yeah, in the open field, they are in trouble. And the SU-22 gets another kill here. And there we have a GG with the Helen getting the W here. Maybe a bit of an early GG from syndi. I don't think this game was over, but the Helen for sure started to get the upper hand in that moment. So I still think this was a bit of an early throw of the towel here. And a bit of a frustration one, though the smoke just came out a bit late. Those are fire and forget missiles on the SU-22, so once they are shot, they don't care about smoke anymore. And yeah, the SU-22 usage of syndi themselves, not as good. Only getting a T-55A there, flying into the AA defense on the other side. That's the kill here of the Shilkas of the AT was annoying, and I think the Helen was in a pretty good position. Still, a bit of an rage quit there out of syndi, and absolutely a position that you can come back from, like 1 T72 price points difference here, one more kill and you're absolutely back in business. So yeah, GG to the Helen. Quick game 1 here. Let's see if syndi can find a more calm and better opener in game number 2, or if the Helen can get them to quit early once more. Quick break, and then we're gonna be back with the second one. So here we go. Second game on Omen, and we have a bit of a different matchup this time around. No T72 is involved this time, so the Helen stays with these Germans and goes 1 gear faster, but less powerful, with the 4th Modschützen, T55s all the way, but at least the modernized variants up there, and you get the forward deployment with the Fallschirmjägers, and that's the special forces Fallschirmjägers of these Germans here. You get some forward deploy AA and ATGMs there with those guys as well. But on the other side, no forward deployment, but really strong air spam and a fantastic mix of infantry and light armor around it as well, with the 1st Canadian, a division that has been shaking up the matter quite a bit, both with its air spam and also pretty cost-efficient ground forces. Solid infantry, GSR recce's that are really cheap, and good ATGMs there around in the units as well. Plus Leopard 1s with max range, which are always a nice addition as well. That should be able to deal decently well with T55 M2s as well. The M2 is the slightly more powerful tank because it has a good bit more frontal armor, but lower penetration and similar accuracy on max range, and costs 20 points more as well. Lower tank as well, so the Leopards can taste them, and you get TOW2s on the side of the Canadians, and you don't get any heavy ATGMs on the side of the 4th Modschützen. It ends at the Conquerors. So it's a bit of the faster division here, slightly lighter division 4th Modschützen, but both can play the mid game quite well. And yeah, you have to really be careful with the AA setup to duel the F-18s. Those are the key selling point currently of the Canadians. Those F-18s are really dominant if you let them get out of hand. So good couple of coups, good couple of Shilkas or so to try to shut them down will be key here if you want to get through this as the Helen. Because I believe, if I remember correctly, syndi does like airplay quite a bit. So we gotta see if the Helen can cope with that, or if syndi's Canadians here can take them apart. Omen, also a pretty wide map, pretty good air map, because you have so much ground to cover. And It also is a relatively slow taking map, so you can afford the air investments without falling too far behind in points, and then push that advantage that you get from the trades there. So yeah, gonna be interesting to see how that all plays out. Doesn't seem to be like an instant air rush opener here. There are quite a couple of forces here on the ground for syndi, so seems to be a relatively standard opener, but the really strong point in the Canadians in my eyes is that the 40% fast ECM, fast flying fighter bombers and attack aircraft can still come in later and still overwhelm your air defenses because they are so hard to kill. And that's something that a lot of other planes with lower ECM and lower speed can't afford because they just get shut down before they hit anything, and they also get hit too easily. So that if the enemy has a decent amount of AA, your air force will just fall flat. That's not the case against the Canadians. Against those, you need a lot of AA and arguably a couple of decent defensive fighters as well. You get some MiG-29s, you get some Coops, you get some Schildgas here on the side of the 4th Mudschützen, so the options are absolutely there. I believe you get some Ulsas as well. Or not just some Ulsas, but like 3 cards, which would be pretty good in this matchup as well, because they can maneuver fast and shoot and then move away before a rocket or bombing plane could hit them. But it seems to be a lot of Strelas, and I'm not too sure about this. So I guess this is the anti-helicopter measure, and yeah, the anti-tank rocket helicopter of the Canadians is a pretty capable beast as well. So making sure that that thing doesn't just completely murder your whole opener is a wise decision, most likely as well. This setup seems to be about ready here now, and both sides are about to get into the fight here. And yeah, guys, how do you see 4th Mudschützen's chances here? Where would you rank that division at the moment? I'm not so sure. I feel like it's pretty strong right now. The Canadians, I think, are arguably even on a similar skill level. Like, obviously the rush is annoying and it is pretty beastie if it runs into you with a weak air defense. So with the balance changes, I believe the Canadians are in a okayish spot, relatively strong, but I feel like both of these are A tier divisions. Would you guys agree for 1v1, or do you think 4th Mudschützen is a significant amount weaker than the 1st Canadian? We, on the meanwhile, have Strelas moving in here, Fagots coming around as well, spreading around the battlefield. Let's see if the CF-188 can find some kills here. The mod rifle leader with the Grizzly moving towards the south. Mod rifle Carl Gustav moving down there too. Mag rifle Reki moving up. 2 of them into defensive positions. All having respect from the forward deployment of the other side. That makes sense, as the Canadians who don't have the best recon deployment. So giving a bit of space here to the 4th Mudschützen makes sense. The F-18 I'm a bit surprised by, just bringing out a fighter. Like, the 4th Mudschützen could helicopter open, I guess, against you. And when you don't have ADATs and so on, that could be problematic. But I feel like you rather should have opened with an ADATs there, maybe, instead of the F-18. F-18 does do its circles there now, though. The GSR pushing towards Gregory now. A little too much space maybe given there to the enemy. Could have unloaded over here and then push into Gregory immediately. No push here from the Hellene. The Hellene focusing on Dimitri and Boris in the middle. 55 M2s coming up. The mod rifles in the north have to be careful here in their Grizzlies. Unload in time. Good smoke there. The mod rifles himself could push forward there. Maybe try to kill this off. Leopard C1s will move towards Dimitri there as well. Let's ATGMs engage the M113A1 in the middle. Don't quite find the kill yet. Mod rifle leaders get to unload in the south. We'll stop the take here. But we should move towards the center here for the Hellene soon to keep the constant take up for now. Recon helicopters coming up. Mi-8 rocket coming up on the other side. Ooh, Leopard 1s get hit. Could have taken another shot here before smoking off. Bit of a panic smoke. The Fallschirmjägers were stunned down. So we could have done a bit more damage there before doing that. Mod rifles pushing forward. Fallschirmjägers slightly lowered in their cohesion, but still in an okay spot. Mod rifles number 2 should help out, because otherwise the Fallschirmjäger is likely gonna win this here. Fight starts to get heated. Have more pioneers coming up. Me 8 TB moving in there for the rocket salvo. No AA up there. And the fighter has been forced to fall back and refuel as well. Pioneers here with the double light rifle, light weapons and the assault rifles, pretty decent as a pioneer, as it can fire on the move with a good amount of firepower with the light support weapon. But that won't help you against me 8 TBs with rockets and Malyutkas. ATGMs here starting to fly. Leopard C1 gets stunned down. We'll have to disengage further there. ATGM flying again. Ooh, ammo explosion with a decent amount of damage. Leopard C1 just barely makes it out. F-18 was actually still around. Didn't come in for the kill though. Okay, bit of a mistake there maybe by Syndi as well. Second one now coming up. That one likely gonna run for it here against the Mi-8. No, just flying more patrol. That's the southern action here. Relatively low as well. Mod rifles and mod rifle Erics coming in. The Erics pretty capable on these ranges to deal with enemy light armor. That's the Tua. Tries to find some kills in the north. O2 gets a good hit there against the AM2. Gets another shot out. That's likely a kill. There we go. Tua gets a decent kill. The Helen in trouble in the north. Can't attack into the south. Bit stuck in the center. Could maybe try to put up some pressure there towards Sheraton, but that's pretty short reinforcement route for the blue side. Pretty long reinforcement route for the red side, so would be a bit risky, but there might be some value in that. T-55 AM2s here also now coming around with the side flank. C6 mag rifles getting some decent damage done, but the force is likely still going to get pushed back. Mi-8 MTB coming around. Doesn't get the hit there against the Leopard. Recon helicopter coming around. Good hits there by the mag rifles. T-55 M2 in trouble. MiG-23 is coming around. Oh no! The F-18AT coming in on its own. And a bit of a wrong timing there. MiG-29 and MiG-23 getting out alive, most likely. Ooh, F-18 gets a hit, but I believe they will teleport out. No, they aren't quite out yet before next missile lands, but there we go. They're out before third one does, and that the MiG-29 does survive. Leopard C1P CP coming around, trying to get the capture, trying to get a +1 going. The middle is pretty stale. Both sides have dug in there. Bit of a push from the Helen actually in the south. Syndi giving up a bit too much space there maybe. Grizzly versus Mi-8 TB. Getting in on it with the guns. More firepower coming around here. Trying to just finish it off. The 12.7mm on the MTLB. Not really enough. Goes down. Once more mod rifles and mech rifles try to come around from the side here. Strela doesn't get the hit there this time around. And still no take here for the blue side. Only contesting the north, not capturing it. And the Leo C1P, C1CP without real protection, no recon to spot for it, and all of that stuff. So Mutchison likely gonna be able to find some damage there. T-55 M2s moving in. MiG-29A flying. Bit of a lack of air defense here on the side of Syndi. That's Fallschirmjägers Engaging against some mech raffles here, stunning them down, keeping them busy. Well, it's more leopard C1s being brought up into the middle, but no artillery to break this position. Oh no, there is an M109. Okay. Yeah, there was no artillery so far. Now there is one. There is an option for the hellene to likely gonna go a bit for the south though. There is the T55AM2 KR, K3 already. Y24 coming in for the center. Leopard C1 CP in the north in trouble as well. CP1 that's spotted. And the Fallschirmjäger is nearly wiped out too. So this might be a successful counter push here, maybe for syndi into the T55s, but the Leopard T1 CP has to be careful. M109 need more firepower here towards the middle. Mech Rifle Leader not really gonna make it there against the Fallschirmjäger Sprengtaucher. And they do have smoke. They could smoke away here, but they go down instead. Good kill there for the Fallschirmjäger Sprengtaucher. Boss is pushing towards the south. Leopard C1 coming around again here, trying to reinforce the whole shenanigans in the middle. F-18 getting a shutout, landing one hit. Gets shut down, but they get the shutdown at least on the other side as well. F-18 there in trouble. Strela doesn't get the hit. Coop might get another shutout. Nope. F-18 does make it home. 109. Trying to get the hit. Not really successful there. Oh. Leopard pushed back. T55 AM2s on the push. Placing it out there. Tua engaging towards 5 in the south. There is an ADATS now on the way. There is a Javelin that could be helpful for now. So the anti-helicopter range is relatively low. Okay, Javelin starts to get in range. Aims on the other Mi-24 though. Leopard C1 CP disengaging +2 right now. Soon to be +3. syndi needs to start to get some kills here. Javelin does miss again in the north. MiG-23 MF HE coming in here. Trying to get some kill. Does miss. Whilst F-18's on the other side. Trying to chase it down. Not that successful at this just yet. Mi-24D now under attack by the F-18. Without any air-to-air missiles though. Killing it is a bit harder. The Vulcan could be able to do it. And the Mi-24 is still flying high, so... HE bomber. Tries to get a hit. MiG-23 with some good ones there. Doesn't get a shutout before the F-18 is getting a bit further away, but gets the kill on the way out there. Oh, F-18 flies pretty deep. Is out of missiles here. Yeah, without the AA ones, the HE ones are in trouble, and the next one gets shut down. So the air spam of the Canadians here in big trouble here for syndi. syndi in the north, getting overwhelmed a bit as well. T-55s doing a good job there, starting to do the cleanup commando. Mod of terror in the south, slowly advancing, trying to get the enemy out of here. And this game now looking really, really promising for the Hellene, as all the air threats now have been solved, and without them and without having a tick online, the Canadians gonna have a tough time pushing here against 4th Motschützen, which has a lot of forces that it just can't bring places. The Leopard C1 CP trying to get some engagements here done, pushing forward a bit again. It's the Leopard C1s here in the middle zone. Desperately try to get some more entrance there. Towards the middle. CP disengaging. And the Situation here getting better and better. What our red player forgot engaging the C1 CP. Doesn't quite get the one-shot kill there, but still does significant damage as the Leo frontal armor is relatively lackluster with only 9. Getting the kill there against the Fagot, but situation here is still pretty worrisome. MR24's engaging from all the sides. Leopards getting stunned down. Mod Rifles, Carl Gustav pushing forward. Toe Cobra trying to hold the line in the self. F-18 versus double MiG-23. No ADATs on the ground. Still believe that's a bit of a mistake. And yeah, we had some reinforcements coming into the north there. Yeah, we had an ADATs, but that just got too close to the T-55s there. So that wasn't really successful either. And now we have another F-18AT. Let's see if that can find anything. But we don't have any drones. We don't have any helicopters here that actually can find the enemy easily. Ooh, and the MiG-23 even running pretty deep there. Doesn't quite get the kill. But F-18 down to gunfire only as well and might be baited over the enemy AA. Yes, exactly. Good bait there by the Helen. No kill for Syndi and another really important aircraft lost here. And this is starting to get out of control. Leopard C1 CP slowly moving on, trying to get into the zone. But the situation for the Canadians not looking all that hot here. More javelins coming around. Seaplane could be a bit of an issue here as well. Mod rifles going down just in head of the Leopard C1 CP. Now it's S24. Oh no, gets the kill there against an MI-24 helicopter in the south as well. No, a Toko helicopter in the south as well. Cobra gets shut down. MiG-23 HE trying to come around. F-18 starting to get some hits, but not quite getting them. MF getting pretty damaged. Leopards trying to sneak around, but there goes the next plane, and that is Canada's main power. So if you start losing those, you are in a lot of trouble. The situation here in the south, not that strong either. Mod rifles here with only the law against T-55s that actually can tank a good couple of those. So yeah, the center push here not really doing anything. Shilka helping out against the mod rifles in the south as well. And the +1 does continue. Leopard C1 CP under fire in the north. About to go to a +3 here, and Syndi is in a lot of trouble here right now. Just not getting the air onto the board and not really doing any value moves of them, and that is pretty deadly when you're playing against a cost efficiency monster like 4th Mod Hudson. So yeah, first Canadian can't allow themselves to be sloppy there. And that's kind of been what happened here. Seaplane trying to come around. MiG-23 getting behind the F-18s again. Gets the next shutdown. And there goes the next expensive plane. Blue is in a world of pain here right now. The airplay just not working out at all for Syndi. And meanwhile, Fagots and Maddie's here in the middle. In a pretty strong spot. Fallschirmjäger, SMG. Trying to move forward. Trying to generate some value. And yeah, there's very little here for Syndi on the ground. The Helen has quite the force here. More Fallschirmjägers coming around as well. More Special Forces infantry, which the Canadians just can't answer. Infantry on infantry, you need some support, but if your artillery goes down, you can't give great direct fire, support fire either. And the situation here is starting to look a bit grim. Mega Medis versus mod rifles, getting good kills there. Leopard C1 getting the mod Schützen. Could use some recon there. Actually spot them. What's the +1? On keeps on going. +2 now. Springer Sprengtaucher. Der Fallschirmjäger Sprengtaucher hier. Get up to Mudschützen. Holding the line. Mod Rifles on the other side. Not really standing a chance. Grizzly goes down. The extra resolute on all the East German infantry, making them a decent bit better than their Canadian counterpart next to the double rifle machine gun. 52mm. Trying to find guys down there. Ultimators keep on coming as Conquers around. Literally aiming up on both sides. We are in a bit of a lull again, but this is just playing into the cards of the Helen. +2 on this map is great. That's a solid take. 800 point advantage. That's a solid polster, and he's even possible of contesting the +2 point there in the rear in the north. If they start moving in their CV, well, it's syndi just starting to run out completely out of combined arms, and that's a bit of the risk of the Canadians. Like, you have pretty class cannon units, and their units are not overly expensive for that, but they are still on the more expensive end of the spectrum for their specific class. You don't have any cheap Leo ones, like the 1A1A1s. You don't have a cheap mixed system here with the ADATs. The 200 points are pretty expensive, especially for units that also can't really tank that well. And ooh, there comes an AG bomber doing a good hit. F-18 goes down again. Yeah, this isn't the airplay that you need here, as syndi and the rest of the gameplay just follows suit. The Helen in a pretty good state right now. CV gets pushed around with the mod rifles, but this is looking pretty damn rough for syndi, and I'm not really sure how you come back from a situation like this one. We trying to adjust the fire. T55AM2 PW's moving around again. Fast move towards the north with CV, trying to get into +2 zone. Finishing the game faster here, and there's little that syndi can do about it. AT launcher emptied over here, so those mech rifles can't do anything. Maybe a bit of a counter push in the south could do a bit of a disturbance. The Leopards here getting a good shot against the T55 leader, getting the kill there, but GSR Reki's already going down here, not enough support. Mudschützen are a bit of trouble. There goes the unit. Mod Rifle Eric's trying to push in. TV on the way, T55 for the middle. There is no real push into the middle either. Fallschirmjäger and Truppe even do a bit of damage against the Leopard C1 here, forcing a smoke, forcing it back. Well, solid defenses here from syndi, not really that helpful. Yeah, the Ilt is actually just trying to dive deep, trying to be as annoying as possible here. That actually might get them a tick for a while, but yeah, he would need to get a tick for 8 minutes or so at this point to turn around the tide, and that is not going to happen here. No protection for the Iltis whatsoever, and air control fully going on here for Mudschützen as well. That is not supposed to happen. You are supposed to hold significant air dominance with the Canadians. If not with attack aircraft, then at least with the fighters. The F-18s should be able to keep the MiG-23 and MiG-29 at bay, get some shots out and get away in time before they even can really retaliate. That's not what happens, and yeah, big of a disaster here for syndi in the sky. Iltis command, getting the rear point, getting the +3, scoring some points, but Iltis CP needs to continue moving. MiG-23s and MiG-29s around there, just securing the airspace from any potential attack aircraft still left, but I believe there are none left here. And now the rear zone gets captured on the side of syndi as well. That will stop the take. Next CV needed here for the south. None on the way just yet, but the double tick is going to be decent enough. A lot of forward units here, likely gonna get a kill here on the mech rifle Carl Gustav, and then the Ito here. Planes coming around with strafing runs. MiG-29 and MiG-23 forced to fall back there in a second, but they did the job. They kept the sky clean and really dominated the enemy air force. Leopard C1 in the fire. But Mega Medis looking on this thing there, and there we go. GG is called, and we have a 2-0 victory for the Helen versus syndi. Canadian play here just not quite working out as well hoped. Yep, the Helen just with a pretty clean game, knowing that they need to take care of the air, and the Coop did that really well. Support there for it, really well done, and there goes the game here, and with that series for syndi as well. Helen winning 2-0 and gets us out of the first series. Next one is going to involve the most, the person with the most eyes on them in the whole league, even though it is Division 4 action. We're gonna have Eugen's own Superxavi coming up versus Prefire.exe. So, quick break. Let's go into series number 2. Superxavi versus Prefire.exe. And here we go into Chandra with 20% versus 79 as the game number 1. Game number 2, Territorial Commander Süd once more out of Superxavi. Really liking that division. It seems like this might be Eugen's favorite. Like, I know quite a couple of Eugen players who like that division a lot. And yeah, on the other side, first Armored there, and the second one on Izura. So Izura, a map that we haven't seen all that often. Pretty high ban rate on it. But gonna be interesting to see. Meanwhile, Chandra, a map that we have seen quite a lot. The two mirrored maps, pretty popular. This one even more so than Omen. And the 79 versus 20 Panzerner, a pretty high tier matchup as well. Two divisions that were busted in the past, that have been nerfed into their places, with 20% in my eyes still a bit more flexible division, but 79th is still doing a pretty fine job as well, with GSR Recon Infantry, with Recon EMPs, with the Mochvach Vetka, T55, T80s here still doing a decent job as well. Yeah, you get some decent AA. You don't get OSAs anymore, no fast AA there anymore, but yeah, T80s plus doing a fine job here. Polymachiki, Motoprolk is there. Will try to take care in Boris. The infantry on the Polish side, I would argue, is a bit stronger with the flexible Zaperji and with the Pekota mech coming in with a potential SVT variant here as well. The average Vetkas coming around. Both sides can come around with a decent amount of PMPs. And yeah, TDs here moving in. I like the double Rapira. I think that's a pretty decent tool to control the open field for a decent price here from Prefire.exe. It's Superxavi here coming in with a decent amount of honkers, trying to get some good positions with them, going pretty deep here towards Boris, trying to take control over the village between Anna and Elena. Always is a quite important point as well. Classic defensive deployment in the north. MiG-21, 8 AA here from the get-go on the battlefield as well. And yeah, let's see how this continues. Superxavi so far with 1 win and 2 draws. So if they can at least get 1 more point here, with a pretty good chance of moving on to the playoffs and getting us some more Eugen. And what's on the other side here? Spetsnaz GIU from Prefire coming forward. Prefire with pretty decent stats so far in the tourney as well. Yeah, Rapiras here moving towards Boris. 1 draw so far from Prefire.exe. for this series. Here on the north, moving around. Who's coming? We're gonna have more Army General multiplayer on Friday. Doch noch more Army General multiplayer on Friday. Shilka moving in here. We won T55A around as well. Let's TV will capture Elena, Theodore, and Gregory. Next we have Honkarus moving around in the north into Sheraton and onward from there. Shilka pushing onward. The other side, Pulmachikis will take care of Boris. A pretty standard opening here from both sides. Superxavi using the speed advantage, but the Spetsnaz GIU will have slightly better recon with the GSR trade. Me to US here with the quadruple PKT getting into the fight there, but the SVD of the Spetsnaz actually doing a pretty decent job stunning it down, making it inaccurate. A pretty close fight here. And I think the Spetsnaz GIU might win this. Oh, they get stunned down. Can they get another shot here on target with the SVD? The Val's firing it well. Yeah, there they get the stun. And the Ross Specialities could have helped out. Could have won the fight there. But Spetsnaz GIU get the kill there against the Me2 US. Likely gonna win the fight now, the Ross Speciality here. With no stress on them. And a decent engagement fight here with 4 of them. Pulmachiki is though now pushing towards them. Ross Specialities here in a bit of trouble here potentially. Scott 2A engaging the Spetsnaz GIU over here. They have to disengage. They have to find some assistance. MiG-29HE. Ooh, finds the Rapira. Does get the kill, but Coop immediately shuts down the MiG-21 as well. So, not a great trade there for Superxavi, but still at least getting the kill there. Rapira engaging to pick up the smack. T1 getting involved here again with a bit of ATGM fire. Nelly over here in a bit of trouble as well. T55A starting to move again. +2 currently for Prefire.exe, capturing all 4 points already with a double CV opener. Only 1 for Superxavi, meaning that they have a lot of ground to cover with that 1 BMP1, giving up a good couple points here. Likely ending up around 200 points here advantage for Prefire.exe, maybe even a bit more. As the BMP1 now moving towards Sheraton. The T55s trying to help out against the Motostrel. He has to be super careful of the TADB over here though. Rapiras, or the 1 Rapira still remaining, could help out there as well. Yeah, both sides not having quite enough support for their individual recon units and starting to lose them around the battlefield. Good disengagement here though from Prefire.exe with the Spetsnaz GIU back into the building. No action here so far in the south. Ross Specialny's in a bit of trouble. Should disengage and let the Picotta Smack come around. T55A here in the middle. In trouble as well. Gets its turret stuck by the TADB. And not a great trade here currently for Superxavi. With the TADs, you want to deal with ATGMs or planes. Pulmachiki there, get the kill against the recon unit. BMP1 not in a great spot to fight them either, as the RPG-22 has a decent rate of fire. And yeah, secures the kill there eventually. But the smack coming around as well. But with the triple PKM here, the Pulmachiki actually might be able to win. SC-22 now around, but no line of sight anymore on the T-80. And a lot of casualties here on Superxavi's side. Shilka should be able to deal with the Motostrelki. Will be able to deal with the MTLB as well. More reinforcements here with a lot of ATGMs coming around. Malyutka piece coming in to flood the battlefield here with the ATGM fire. T55A pushed back in the north by Rapira as well. Prefire.exe there with a strong position. And no artillery here, no Danas around yet. A lot of ATGMs. There comes the Dana. Good investment to deal with those Rapiras. Especially considering that the Coops already shut down the MiG-21, so you don't want to spam more bombers, you want to use something with a bit more punch there. Well, it's Spetsnaz here just covering the backline. Vetka in the north doing the same. Rus doing a bit of protection duty there as well. Have a rocket helicopter coming in from Prefire, Me-8 here. A lot of firepower. SU-22 has to be careful. And there's only one valuable target here around for it right now. That is the T-80. Ooh, T-80 does reveal itself. Gets the Shilka kill. Arrow and loses the SU-22 loses line of sight there. Good reaction from Prefire once more. Eagler gets a hit. SU-22 gets pushed back. Shilka goes down. And that's a nice kill there. Pota and Pulumachiki did get into a fight. Prefire.exe did move out there nicely. But the Smack now will fight double Pulumachiki. And likely gonna lose that fight. While Superxavi does fortify the middle here with more and more ATGMs. So all armored units here of Prefire.exe will have it pretty tough there moving through that field in the foreseeable future. Dana getting involved now as well, firing onto the first Rapira in the north here. That Soviet anti-tank gun, most modern anti-tank guns in the 80s. Old technology system, but able to fire ATGMs. Pretty decent fire control system there on it as well. Gets hit now and immediately explodes. Dana with a direct hit, finding the kill. So yeah, the Rapira is living pretty dangerous life here now. Pretty important investment there into this rapid fire artillery piece. Immediately getting the hit on the first one. This might be spotted here by the Rospecialnies as well. This Rapira should be hidden for now. Any of them showing up will get hit. Oh, there comes the first God Sticker on the other side. Okay, yeah, both sides now with artillery. Two vet God Sticker as well, so this is pretty rapid fire. Good aim time. Good reload time as well. Down on the other side, 0 vet. Aiming for the next recon units. And artillery is so important on this map when it gets entrenched like this. When both sides start to dig in, because that's how you start to get the kill advantage and soften up the enemy without having to risk your units in the open fields. Defense advantage here pretty big on this map, so yeah, having that can be pretty important. Okay, switching immediately to the second Rapira after spotting it. I think that's a good choice as well. The ADB is a problem, and might need a good couple of T-72s later on to try to deal with those in gunfire range. If you can find the good engagements there, the T-72Ms should be pretty cost efficient. But for now, yeah, taking these kind of shots can be pretty helpful. Conquers disengaging away from it. Malyutkas a bit closer to a T-80. And the T-80 should be able to see them soon. Finds a Fagot in north. Starts to get stand down here by all that ATGM fire. And is starting to disengage away from it all as well. But yeah, the Malyutkas and the Fagots not really able to deal much damage. My 8 here in a good spot as well. The direct fights all won by Prefire. Dana, it feels like keeping Superxavi in the trades here right now. And starts to at least hold up a bit against it. Wonder what the Quad Sticker is going to be able to do on the other side. Smaller AT gun can be pretty nice for smoking off attacks. Can be pretty nice for immediate fire support with its quick 15-second aim time. A good bit better than the 22-second on the other side. Reload time really fast as well. We have a Shilka here coming around. Perji slowly moving up. The Dana. Okay, aiming for the spot where the T-80 was. Maybe expecting some recon around there, but there is nothing right there at this moment. Well, the Perji's coming around. Malyutkas come around. Might be on hold fire, we'll see. So I feel like this is going to be... Yeah, no, this is going to be instant fire. Nothing to be hit there. We have quite a lot of ammunition in the Dana, 54 shots. And waste a bit of it, even without needing an instant reload. Silka here now under fire by the Quad Sticker. Yeah, that is not as dangerous on its own. Only dealing 1 damage so far with 2 near misses. Keeps on doing stress damage, but it's not capable of killing off enemy units as easily. Can be decent against ATGM teams and against stuff like the Ross personality 3-man recon teams, the GSR team over there, but against armored stuff, you mostly gonna use it for stunning them down and then allowing your other units to deal with them. Oh, counterfire now, trying to hit the Quadzika. Prefire.exe there with good movement though. Not letting that happen. T55A is now coming around. The first T72 and the best T72 in the 20th Panzerna. The Polish modernized version, the Wilk, coming around with 17 frontal armor, 18 penetration. So that's wise. Relatively close to the T80B. One less penetration. And also 2 lower rate of fire. Has 1 more hit point than the T80B. And also moves slightly slower. The ATGM is weakness as well, but that is not all that important. But the Dana here still hitting into the middle of nowhere. ADBV, IZD 29 coming up. Those are the top tier ADBs. The ones with the modernized engine. 70 kilometers off-road speed. Really agile. And also the better ATGM, the Agona, which is scary for all the vehicles on the other side. Dealing pretty significant damage and having decent accuracy as well. 55 AS and 72M to Vilk moving around. Dana here into the center. Likely trying to get some more hits here in a second. On the other side, BMP2s and Rapiras shooting up at T55. And likely gonna get the kill there. BMP1 out of ATGMs. Getting into gun range here, but gets bailed out. Trella has to be careful here as well. A lot of ATGMs flying, and Superxavi losing the ground fights here. Runs a bit out of units there around the Gregory point. So if Prefire.exe figures it out, there could be a push coming. There could be a tick coming up with that. The Dana lately firing on too many units out of the target, and really good movement there with the Quadzika, avoiding counterfire here. By Prefire.exe 120mm mortars can potentially smoke for the units. And yeah, now the T-72s come online. This is going to be an interesting point. Going to see how they will perform here against their slightly bigger brethren on the other side. With the higher numbers on the T-72 sides of things. Mi-8 here goes down, but Conquerors might find the Shilka in return. Shilka disengages. Conquerors does miss here. 0 veterancy after all. Strela forced to fall back as well. T-55 AS coming in for the middle. The 1750 meter range is something that it can potentially use here. Get some shots out. Dana gets the Conquerors in the south. Whilst the Conquerors, the ATGMs here holding the open field. That'll be pretty important. The second Dana should be brought up relatively soon in my eyes. And just keep on firing onto anything that shows up. As this so far has been Superxavi's most efficient unit. The rest, as I said, so far not quite up there, but the T-72 ball could change that up as well. IZDs coming around in numbers. And you don't want to start at long range fights with these guys. They're gonna kite you there. They also just gonna get the first shots and stun you down with ATGMs or with the main gun. So you want to push the T-72s into ranges where your T-72s can just double team them or triple team them and get the kill before the T-80BV can disengage, or at least slow it down so much that you can hunt it down by stunning it and doing enough stress damage. And that's not always easy on this map. There are a good couple of open fields that you somehow have to maneuver around. So maybe you can do it here within the town. Maybe you can do it with a bit of smoke play over here. Maybe through the south into this forest. You can do this, but that's not what Superxavi is going for right now. And yeah, if you just fight the fight on these ranges here, this is not perfect. It's at least at a range where the T-72s can fire, but the T-80BVs can maneuver a lot there, and you can't just hunt them down or ambush them. Second Dana now coming around. I like that. I like the mortars quite a bit as well. P55AS here. Could maybe find some enemies as well. Artillery from the other side. Being involved once more with the Guazdika. Dana number 2. Tries to counterfire again, but yeah, Prefire.exe here just too good for that. Not gonna happen. No shot at those Guazdikas. Whilst AA comes around here. Danas need to find a new spot to fire at. This isn't quite it. Monkarus holding the open field in the north. We have the SC-22 coming in again. But good movement there by Prefire.exe once more. And the SC-22 even goes down there. A lot of AA fire coming out against it. And yeah, that's a pretty painful loss. Danas currently silent. And Prefire.exe, I would say, is a good bit ahead right now in the trades. KDBVK coming around. Strella coming around as well. We don't have that many T-72s here on the front line just yet for Superxavi either. Only 3 of them, which is a similar amount of numbers than what you have on the other side. The Guazdika now gets spotted here and doesn't get fired right now. So Danas here might have a chance, though they are not great at counter battery. Like, is on top an issue as well. The Danas relatively low maximum range means that they're relatively inaccurate when they fire all that way into the enemy rear. And that means even though they have a pretty good fire output, their counter battery fire is actually not that great, because chances are that just like this, all your shots land around the target instead of on the target, and then you stress out the Guazdika on the other side maybe, but you don't get the kill. And yeah, that's what happens here. Pretty luck based, so I usually don't counterfire Dana at all, because it's a bit too much gambling, even if you get close to the enemy target. And with accurate shot on the front line, they are super deadly, so I usually try to focus on that. Trying to find targets, yeah, like the Strela. That's actually quite far away from one of them as well. Now they are on hold fire so that you can sink the shots there. Good move from Superxavi. MY24D here in the rear. Meanwhile, in South Pulumachiki, under fire by the BRDM and the Rospecialny. Let's see if they can get the kill into the Rospecialny before they go down. Ooh, gets stunned down there. BRDM might find the kill first. Yes, there we go. But the BMP2 immediately gets revenge there as well. Well, P not in a great spot here. Not the Strelke BMP moving up in force here again behind all of this. Danas. Good fire now. Both have synced up. There we go. Strela and under fire. Gets hit. Gets stressed out. Decent chance that it will go down there. Being able to get out. But not landing perfectly this time around either, so is going to be close here, and Strela gets out actually after all. Danas will need a reload, will need to push closer. HE mortars here, just hitting the whole forest. Doing a bit of damage. The mortars on the other side haven't been used yet. Conquerors coming into the south as well. Motostrelki's coming up here too. 200 point lead for Prefire.exe, so Superxavi is the one that has to push eventually. Currently, there is no real open lane on this map. Mortars keep on firing. Starting to deal some damage, and Prefire.exe in a pretty damn good spot here with 79. Next Guazdika with 2 level veterancy coming in, and there we go. Superxavi brings the heavy cav. T72 M1s coming around. I would like to see a mix of T72 M1s and the normal T72 Ms of the Polish that are a bit cheaper, that are a bit more cost efficient, that maybe have a bit less frontal armor, sure, but if you mix them in with the T72 M1s, the enemy will fire on the M1s first, and then you have more cost efficiency. T55 Ace works similar as well, so that's fair as well. And yeah, there we go. The Polish cavalry, the not quite so winged, but mechanized hussars coming in here onto the battlefield. Dana here, finding another Rapira. Its first victim, and immediately gets the hit there again. That's good range with recon around to get your accurate shot. Mortars here continuously being annoying as well. The 80s falling back away from it. Dana number 2 just firing into some MTLBs here. Me 8 rocket this time around. Not that effective. Gets shot down by the Shilka. Better artillery finds some 120mm mortars. They were stationary for a bit too long. Let's get some damage, and yeah, here comes the cavalry. Oh, it's actually going into the far north. Yeah, would have expected it to go here, where the other two C-72s are. You want to have them all together. You want to have all 6 of them in one spot. So if these 4 are going north, I think these 2 should rotate up there as well. Really create overwhelming fire superiority. Because on the other side, the Rapiras keep on coming, and the T80B numbers, or BV numbers actually, get higher and higher as well, which is a bit problematic here. Because they just are such a good bit more manageable tanks, and if you get good enough numbers that the enemies just can't easily one-shot them, and you maybe start to one-shot T-72s with them, the situation could be problematic. Third Dana arriving here. So both sides here now with a lot of units around. Wilk, get out of position. Dana's currently silent. Quadstika, Chilka on the south. Perry's and Scott 2A's trying to push the field, but there is a BMP2. There are some BRDM Conquerors as well, so the Scott 2A's not gonna have an easy time here. I don't think this is where Superxavi wants to put on any real pressure, really. Mortar or some potential smoke play in the north. I like that. Lyutka here against the MTLB. Does miss. Metal box there. Does survive a bit longer. One missing as well, but the third one does find its mark. Gets the kill. Gets the kill immediately with that as well. Both Scott 2A's here. In ruins as well. Running on the open field. And the Saperji's not really in a position to push into this either. Maybe with the some Dana fire support, but that's not really what you want to focus on here right now. Danas should focus onto finding some value in the north here. If you really want to push through there, maybe just pre-fire these buildings at this point. Yeah. Going for more counter battery. That hasn't been so successful yet. MP2 under pretty good fire there. With the accurate shot, not moving away, so will go down most likely. Dana keeps on generating value here. Counter battery fire not working. 72s are ready, but no move order just yet. Bella moving up there as well. With a decent smoke screen, with a decent amount of Dana fire on the right spots, this absolutely is breakable. But you have to consider that there are a decent amount of BMP2s and T80s that could relatively fast rotate up there as well, so... And there are no ATGMs here to potentially do a bit of an ambush there. No, I got ATGMs in these buildings. So there is a lot of time pressure here on Superxavi to get this done. That's the Quadstika comes around, fires into the south here. Trying to get some more value out of this. More 20mm mortars. Still keep on firing there, still trying to be annoying. Yeah, the Danas silent for now. I feel like Superxavi really has to do something here now. Has to start to get the pressure on before these T80s arrive. With 2 more T80s, the front line is not going to look good for Superxavi, but They might be a bit bugged down in the Salmon fights here right now. This is not important. This is where the importance is right now. And Superxavi needs to get the hell moving there. Okay, tries to figure out HGM positions of the enemy here. That is clever with the Honkaroos. Can't smoke off or anything, but the Danas immediately can take up shots against the two positions. Yep, that is good. And now the smoke should come up at the same time, then move. And that's happening now. Yep, there we go. Smoke mortar starting to fire. Well, on the other side, Quadstickers coming in. It might be still a bit too late already, as these units here are gonna be making any pushes in the north really hard. MP2 under fire. Gets stressed out. That will still be helpful at the time the push comes. Honkers moving around. Smoke does find its mark, and now the T-72s need to start moving. Yep, there we go. Recon infantry moves up as well. The hellene is here moving in. The BRDM infantry, the BMP-1s, recons should move with all of this as well. Maybe even the Mi-24 slightly behind it. 21 above this in the sky. Danas will need to find another shot here relatively soon. For example, against the Rapira. Lots of T-72s. Keep on going. Ooh, SU-24 cluster. Can it find its mark? 3 T-72s. Big 21s. Only now starting to move in. 72s all stunned down, so they can't dodge this. So that's going to be a triple kill. One of them was a T-55, so it wasn't quite as painful, but still pretty painful there. Conqueror's position here, holding out quite nicely. Next Su-24. Oh, gets the second one. Second push here, directly under the cluster fire, and 2 stunned down to move away as well. MiG-21 goes down, and the Su-24 does even survive. Prefire here with a really good defense, and 201 points here might be enough to win them the game here, because now it's gonna be real tough for Superxavi to push through this. And MiG-21 bombers here coming in, dealing a bit of damage, but there is nothing behind us anymore for Superxavi, and there's a lot of T-80s on the other side. That was brutal. And yeah, T-72 M1 here going down. If Superxavi would have traded better on the ground before, then there would still be a pretty okay chance here. Like, the trades were bad, but something that 20% usually can recover from, but as the trades in the ground fights already were bad beforehand, and the T-80 number is a bit out of control here, I just don't see how Xavi can push through this. And this was a really good bombing run there. Su-22, AT trying to come in. A lot of AA fire here on the other side though. Su-22 not able to get a shot out. Not good enough recon for it, and yeah, Prefire.exe doing a really good job at keeping their units here in the safe spots. Bella in a good safe spot there as well, and the 20th Panzerna not really getting a breakthrough here. Job well done by the player in blue. Yeah, the T-72s, M1s down in smoke. Mod with getting pushed back here, and Prefire.exe keeps on fire, getting good shots out of the Quadstickers. The Dana's currently silent on the other side, as the recon here not quite up there for Superxavi, and no real reinforcements coming up here to change this either. But there are around 8 or so T-80s by now on the battlefield versus only 2 or 3 T-72s on the other side remaining, and that is not a good ratio. And when you already have the weaker tanks, if you also have less than half of what the enemy has of those in the tank division versus tank division action. So I'm pretty worried for Superxavi's chances in this game here right now. ADB starts to move forward. Wilk under heavy fire here by a lot of HGMs. Starts to get stunned down. Conquerors with good hits. Down to 1 hit point we go. Unit stunned down. Forced to fall back. ADB comes around. Try to hunt it down. Malyutkas don't do anything against the TADBs. Polynskill here doing a pretty good job. S24 run really successful there. And really ending any hope for Superxavi of getting any push done. The TADs soon maybe can just run this whole thing over, because there are too few ATGMs and too few good tank guns here remaining for the Polish. No Conquerors ATGM teams and no BMP2s on the battlefield, so little that can actually damage the TADBVs, which means that the IZDs here could potentially just fight the hell out of the Polish, or just maybe even roll them over and don't even take that much damage. IZD starts to get routed here. Recovers pretty quickly though. Doesn't find a shot against the T-55AS here, it seems like. Still, not quite sure why it prioritizes the Superxavi there right now. AS now gets pushed back. Got the smack under fire. E2 US trying to move up as well. Push in the south attempted, but there's too much here. Prefire.exe rated too well. No vulnerable spots on the map anymore. Way too much action here for the southern flank. E2 US goes down. Bilk in a lot of trouble here as well. TADBV and TADBs starting to push forward. Ones in the north could push up as well. Well, TADB here likely gonna finish off the Vilk. There we go. And that was the last T-72 on the battlefield. Well, it's more and more T-80s coming forward. The smoke play here, bit unnecessary even. And just a recon unit with the tanks, and you would get rid of everything that is on the other side here. Malyutka, too short range. Tank can fire before the ATGM can hit and get the kill. TVT, BVK coming up to get the take online here as well. Malyutka not able to get a hit on. MiG-29 in the sky as well, and job well done here by Prefire.exe, getting the Motostrelki from Roddy in here and playing the heavier division really nicely. Not letting anything die early on and just keeping on the traits on the front line up. And MiG-21s here, not really able to face anything down. A lot of them coming around here to prevent any shots onto the helicopters, I guess. Yeah, there we go. The helicopter mass is coming in, but there are Strelas on the other side. And S-25s could potentially run on top of this as well. MiG-21s shouldn't dive too deep. Yeah, no, there's way too much AA there. MiG-29 likely gonna survive this, whilst the MiG-21s are in big trouble. There goes the second one. Zone has been captured. BMP-2s and T-80s here having the upper hand as well. Malyutka goes down again. +2 is on. All the helicopters here. Salamandras flying in. But at this stage in the game, they are not really efficient at getting any kills there. HE bomber does miss the mark as well. Second HE bomber coming around. Doesn't really do anything either. And the Salamandras start to go down in the Strela fire now. Mi-24 already went down. Strelas keep up the fire, and there we go. GG. Game number 1 going to Prefire.exe. And making Superxavi's run towards the playoffs. Bit tougher here. With 1 win, 1 loss, 2 draws, you are not safely in. So getting the second map would at least increase their chances by a good bit. So that would be pretty important. But Prefire.exe here with a commanding lead in game number 1 doesn't seem to make that easy. Nearly 3-1 KD. I mean, it went out of control. Prefire.exe just played complete destruction game mode there. And Superxavi knew that they had to push, trying to play objective, so they had to risk it, and then things just went out of control. But even in the early game, Prefire.exe here with really good traits, good composition, good movement, dodging a lot of counterfire, keeping the TADBs alive, and focusing on the key units. So job well played here, and it's not going to be easy for Superxavi to try to turn this around in game number 2, which they really kind of need to. So let's see if Prefire.exe can get the 2-0 lead here, 2-0 win here, or if Superxavi can at least achieve the draw. Quick break, and we're going to be back with the next one. second game is going to happen here on Isura. For a little map. And PKS, the aggressive deck here on the side of Superxavi, coming in against Prefire.exe first armored. Has a bit of forward deployment as well. Area para. So you usually see little use of them because they're not that cost efficient. You sometimes see them as stopgaps, but you usually don't want to invest too much into the forward deployment of first armored. It's just that the enemy has to respect them, which is the good part about it. Not that you actually have to use them. Usually try to avoid using them as much as possible. So we seemingly see a good bit of them. The Para Rover Milan, we are a good bit more useful. Can keep the enemy units away here. The Rover Milans coming around, trying to get into spots where they maybe can catch an AMX-10 RC or so, if they overextend on the other side. The forward deployment of PKS, one of the best ones of the non-airborne divisions, as the Fallschirmjäger B1, really good forward deployment, Special Forces Recon, good firepower with the MP5 SD, the HK21 in CQC and on the move, and good anti-tank with the Panzerfaust 3, Satchel Charges helping out in the CQC fights as well. Green Beret, not quite the same firepower, but pretty decent firepower as well. And key part here is the smoke grenade that can allow then the Fallschirmjägers to also get into that low range. Or deploy AA against helicopters with the VLRA for a cheap price that also can be helpful against vehicles is nice. And then follow that up by AMX-10 RCs, which are some of the best forward deploy vehicles that can gun down all light vehicles one shot and be a nice ambush for any tanks pushing up as well. This is going to be interesting, and yeah, PKS coming around a good bit there, and we have the new Overland A3 as well, lovely new model, brought in with Salvac, being used for the Army General campaign there, being allowed into the French part of TKS as well, and yep, the love for TKS is something that the Eugen team and I seem to share, as Damned played quite a bit of it as well. I remember when we played tournaments, so there, that division. I have seen a lot of people said that it was overlooked. Don't you worry, guys. Eugen hasn't overlooked that division for sure. And yeah, Chieftain Mark 9C on the other side. They are pretty cost efficient for what can come on the other side. They can survive a hit from a Milan 2. That is pretty key. And the main gun can one-shot the MX-10s, can do a lot of damage against the M48. So pretty interesting and I think fine choice here for the opener from Prefire.exe as well. What I would love to see is a good amount of warriors coming up with their units as well. Maybe this many chieftains might be a bit of an overextension, but gonna see how it goes. Para leader here coming around as well. That's a pretty expensive price, but it will get you the point lead, and that was what gave Prefire.exe the victory last time. So seems to be the play this time around as well. Play defensive, get the point lead, play on from there. As we have Rover CP coming up here in the rear, double CV opener again. Well, we have a double CV on the other side as well. Two Overland A3s coming in here. One for the north, one for the southern route. But Prefire.exe already on a +2. Already 20 points ahead. And ticking. Will likely gonna get a couple thousand points more here. Maybe 200 point or so more lead here. For the points are captured on both sides. The Green Berets and Fallschirmjägers trying to push pretty deep here. Terrier Para might be pretty helpful. They aren't great at fighting infantry, but they have a good AT weapon with the Carl Gustav. And yeah, the Green Berets here diving a bit too deep. Superxavi losing the first one. The Carl Gustav not fast enough on the reload there to get the second one in transport, but kills the transport next to them, so at least stuns them down. Which at least makes the Green Beret less cost efficient as well. They're still likely gonna win against the Terrier Para, which is at only one vet and no special forces, so the SAS patrol would have to help out there. VLRA though, coming around, trying to hunt that down. Our leader moving around here, chieftains on the way. Fallschirmjäger B1 spotted. Overland here, trying to come into the middle. Ooh, track drop here versus Gazelle Cannon. Tractor up here. Gets the immediate hit. Gets the kill here. VLRA trying to find some some shots against the SAS patrol. Whilst the Chieftain Mark 9s have to be careful here. Vulture Mega B1s have found a way to penetrate into the lines. Oh, showing rear armor and being close together. So the Vulture Mega B1 with the first hit even damaging both and getting the kill onto both here. Panzerfaust 3 with a decent rate of fire there. Getting the double kill. Overland now pushing deeper as well, and that is a big issue for the Prefire.exe. First double tank team down already. The other two now pushing around from the south, trying to get the VLRA. Over CP in trouble. Berets on the fire here in the middle as well. VLRA pushing up, and Carrier Para getting overwhelmed here. Units moving further forward. Green Beret could move up a bit further. Vulture Mega B1 finding good frontal shots here against the Chieftains. Getting the second one. Panzerfaust 3 with the 21 pen. Really paying off. Chieftain Mark 9 keeps on engaging this now that it is down to only one shot. But losing two of them, pretty painful. And the VLRA is still around. Rifles trying to come in here, but not quite on time, and we have a +2 here now for Superxavi. Catching up quickly. Aeromobiles coming in as quick reinforcements in the Super Puma. Good units as well, 60 points, bringing up Pilas. That can deal havoc to the enemy armor units as well. And on the other side, it's only one Vet Rifles, which won't win the infantry fight there. Got 2 Gazelles coming up. Rifles, 8 hit points. Have a low 80 as well, have a double MG. But they are only 8-man squads. Whilst on the other side, you have 104 here, trying to come forward as well. And yeah, we have a couple of planes here coming around. Thanks for the Twitch Prime sub there, by the way, Superxavi. And yeah, on the other side, Milan wants moving forward. Vulture Makers coming in here as reinforcements once more. Vulture Maker B1 on the front line. Finally go down to the rifle and the Chieftain. The Chieftain, not the best at fire support. They have 2 light MGs only, and the rate of fire is not the greatest either. They at least have a 120mm gun, so the HE output of it is okay, but the rate of fire of the British tanks and the lack of a 50 cal is a bit of an issue. And yeah, the lack of warriors here is a bit confusing. Like, the British tanks are not the best, but they have the best IV. Or it got nerfed a bit, the warrior applique, but it's still one of the best, if not still the best IV in the game, with the Milan 2 on top, with a good autocannon, with decent survivability as well, capability of surviving a normal Milan hit, and it is a bit cheaper, a bit more cost efficient, and gives you a bit of infantry as well, and compared to a Chieftain, whilst dealing with infantry just as well. AVREs here, decent choice as well. Like, I liked some Chieftain Mark 9s. I think 4 was just a bit too much in the opener there. Rifles moving around against the airmobiles here. Tractor up here, really playing with fire, but gets the hit here, gets the kill. We'll have to get the hell out of there. These are HOTS at least down for now. More javelins coming around. The Centurion AVRE with the heavy hitting HE gun can do good damage here against the airmobiles, maybe, if they can find them, but have to be careful, because the Aplilas and the Vulture Megers B1s, Vulture Mega 3 will get them quite quickly as well. Tornado HE there with a good run. That should do some damage. Getting 1 killed. Getting out undamaged on the way out. Ooh, AMX 10 with a bit of an ambush potential here in the southern part of the map. SAS patrol engaging the B1 on the front line. That is dangerous here for the Vulture Makers, because they don't have a sniper rifle and they only can use their HK-21 on this range, so the SAS patrol over time will snipe them down. But the MX-10 here is a way bigger problem for the other side. So that is something that you have to figure out relatively soon once it opens fire. The Hellarm, ooh, okay, was spotted, already reacting. Could find a way there. Para leader gets back into the middle. Rifles have to fight their way out of this as well. The AVREs could be pretty helpful. Chieftains trying to find a way around this as well. A couple more recon units would be helpful too. Another chieftain coming in. And the Lynx alarm about to fly directly over the AMX. Will get to fire and will get to kill it there on this range. 100% accuracy. The MX-10 only has a light MG, so no chance of getting the kill there. Aeromobiles, oh, getting the next kill here with a side shot though. Apilas, side shot onto another Chieftain Mark 9. Bomber gets killed, but gets the drop off. And will get potentially some damage there as well. Here, gets the power leader, gets the +1 back to Superxavi. Already 200 points ahead this time around, so it's going to be Prefire.exe who will have to push on later in the game. Rover CP being brought up there as the next CV. But I feel like more combat units would be necessary here first. There is another CV here. I don't think a new CV unit really is the key factor here of Prefire.exe. They just need to clear this out first. Rifles moving around. They got the plane kill, so the trade was point-wise quite nice for them. But the rifles here fighting hard against the Ultra Mega B1s, and they don't have enough protection around their Centurions and their other armored units yet. And as I said, the lack of warriors is just confusing to me. Like, yes, autocannons got nerfed, but they are still some of the best anti-infantry for scenarios like that, and pretty efficient against all the armored units that can come on the other side as well. There are not that many tanks that can stop you, and if you have one chieftain and 2 warriors behind it, that's, in this scenario, I feel like way better than having 2 chieftains. Rifles trying to move forward, trying to move the CV out. M110 did get rid of the SAS patrol here. Or the SAS patrol could find the kill. And yeah, Javelin here trying to move forward, find a bit more value. Chieftain Mark 9 gets a shot out onto the Vulture Mega there. Killer 8, 20mm. About to be found by the rifles. NRC. Another shutout here. Chieftain Mark 9. The MX-10 RC. There as well. Hull arm. Self. Rifles. Will unload into the center. Super Pumas in with airmobiles. Coming around for the north. Full 3. Falling back. More M48s. Coming in here. No recon here for Prefire.exe, so that is pretty scary. No unit to spot for the chieftains. For the single chieftain here right now. So the MX-10, for example. Maybe could find a side shot potentially here again. Will spot the rifle. Will get a shot out there. That's not great for the MX-10. Might allow the chieftain to hunt it down, and the chieftain would one-shot it. There come the M48s though, saving it here. Getting hit pretty hard, but on this range also dealing okay damage in return. 17 pen on the A2 variant is pretty decent. So they get to push the enemy out here. More rifles coming in for the middle. Will do a decent setup. Ooh, and we have a bit of a flanking push here. With immediate dropping, like really hot dropping Super Pumas here with airmobiles. There is a Javelin though, so one of them is in a bit of trouble. Can the Javelin find the kill there? Yes, it can. The Green Beret leader will get out though in the Chinook and will overwhelm the situation. One of the best combat leaders in the game with 9 submachine guns and 3 light machine guns, so dealing a lot of damage. Special forces, 3 vet. Javelins there in trouble, and next point being captured here. Ultra Mega B1 followed up as well. The Rover Milan can't do anything there. Chinook just trying to spot actually for it. But the Tornado HE is scary. Fighter gets shot down. Ooh, the Eyehawks coming in clutch. Getting the hit there before the Tornado could turn around and drop its bombs. Ultra Mega B1 here. Pushing onto the Rover Milan. Berate leader overwhelming the south completely, and now Superxavi could play this flank as well. Chieftain Mark 11 in the center, heavily damaged already. Oh, Milan actually spots it. This is bad. Tries to move away. Gets killed off. Should have smoked instead. Well, it's Challenger Mark II now arriving. Chieftain Mark 9s. Last one there went down as well. Centurion AVRE has an easy time here. Gets the hit. Bit of MG fire as well. No 50 cal on it, so bit lower HE output than its American counterpart there as well. But Pioneer Carl Gustav here, not in a great spot. Gets stamped down now completely. Well, the Centurion aiming up for the next time. A lot of Gazelle rockets here now coming in. Forearm arriving to try to deal with the infantry. AVA, no, leaving the Carl Gustav at 1 hit point. Rifles pushing forward against the Super Pumas. Challenger getting involved. 2 vet level Challenger there coming around. Fallschirmjägers going down. The Gazelle rockets here doing a decent job. F-104 Starfighters coming in for them. That's a mistake. Never send fighters after these Gazelle rockets. Like, those are 20-point units. You need to kill, even with a Starfighter, you need to kill 7 of them to pay off. You're never gonna kill 7 of them. Even if you use all your gun and missiles, you're not gonna kill 7. And it's never worth it. Never dive onto the Gazelle rockets. They're also not dangerous enough to be worth it. Like, always use your ground-based AA to deal with them, or just take a bit of damage. Our leader here, trying to move forward. Green Beret leader coming in. 1 Gazelle rocket was traded for F-104 here, for example, and that's 410 points loss for Superxavi there. And yeah, as you can see, Roland 3 just takes care of it eventually. Like, they have to push pretty close to you. They have to push into VLRA, into Roland range eventually if they want to do damage. And they're gonna go down at that point, and if only 2 of them are remaining or so, they are not really that dangerous. Like, they are only dangerous in a swarm, so once you have picked off 2 or 3 of them, the relevance of them has dropped. General Rocket here, trying to kill the Para leader. Chieftain behind it. Might be a bit of danger as well. Gets the kill onto 1 M113 with a Milan. Smokes off afterwards. The rockets here did reload, but yeah, there's the VLRA, there's the Roland 3. Already taking care of it. 104 behind all of this, not really getting a kill. Jaguar HE. With a decent run there, kills the Green Beret leader. But the leader on the other side goes down as well, so Superxavi stays on a +1. Gazelles running out of ammo. Getting shot down once more by the Roland. Milan here, trying to engage. Planes get shot down here by the tractor up here. Gazelle rockets trying to move around again. The Terrier Paras coming in a bit too late. The VLRA shooting them up, and yeah, there comes another Chieftain. Chieftain Mark III, but tanks, like heavy tanks, are not what you need here. I'm really surprised that we haven't seen a single warrior, and I feel like this is the mistake that a lot of people do with this deck. Like, they play it completely warrior-less. They try to play it like other medium tank divisions, but the medium tanks of the British are not their strong suit. Strong suit is the air tap. That is a good bit better than a lot of armored divisions' air taps. And the IV. And pretty good infantry with strong AT weapons. Like, the tanks are nice because you have heavier tanks than all the infantry divisions out there. But they're the add-on. Like, they're not the main part about First UK. And yeah, we see way too many challengers and chieftains in a lot of the games with these divisions. And way too few warriors. Tornado F3AA here gets shut up again and gets pushed back. Even at 65 points, I still would argue for it being the best IV in the game. And we haven't seen a single one of it. Milan won here in a good spot. Instead, more challengers and more chieftains here coming forward, trying to do some damage. And yeah, Superxavi did make it awkward, did make it not wide. I don't think the airplay was that great here, but the ATGM positioning and always getting some pot shots, plus good infantry movement and more, yeah, getting the kills there, and that getting the W here in the end as well. Prefire.exe was actually ahead in kills, but it was invested into a lot of heavy forces, and the KD on both sides, a lot of like a good amount of kills there. The point lead here for Superxavi pretty important as well. There was still a good amount of time left here, so maybe a bit of an early surrender. And as I said, I think focus more on the slightly cheaper and more flexible units with 5Vs plus infantry could have been the way to victory here. But Superxavi had the artillery out and started to really get into grinding down the combined arms, and that's always the issue when you're the heavier division. When you keep on trading blow for blow, then you start running out of combined arms whilst the enemy still has theirs. And the TKS combined arms is not really great, but it is cheap. It has that going for it, and that is what wins Superxavi the game here. And with that also keeps the chances pretty good for moving on to the playoffs. 1 win, 3 draws. Uh, the rest of the group still has to finish a good couple of games. So the group still could swing around there, but in general, a pretty good position here for our Fusion team member to make it out of this. There we go. Prefire.exe with a win and a draw now as well. They get a win here against Dennis and Sneaky, and Red Monkey does the same. This could look different, but we will see how it goes. Now, pretty good standing there for Superxavi on the top of the group. With that said, let's move on to the final series of the day and to Division 3. As we have Polynskill versus, I forgot actually who we have there in the final game. What was the million name? But yeah, you guys will see it in a second. Oh yeah, Grandpotato. Grandpotato. How could I forget about the potato? So quick unit, and then we see you again. In Division 3, we go to Izura as well. And we have a UK division on the left side once more. This time around, though, the second UK coming up for us. In a matchup that, outside of the map, could be straight out of Season 3. Only Izura reminds us this is a new season. This is Season 5. And this isn't the old days of second UK and 56 PTV dominance. As 56 here on the right side for Grandpotato. So, old school meta divisions here. Coming out of Polynskill and Potato. And on the second game, we have the new meta. T72s with first Ankova Divisa versus 20th Panzerna. And the bands, 5th Blinde, 119th, 31st here on the side of Polynskill. And then Div Mob for E-Divisa and first Canadians. So pretty versatile, but classic A and S tier division bands there. Yep, first Ankova, one of the most picked, but also one of the lowest win rate divisions in the game. So gonna be interested to see how that performs there in the game number 2. I'm also pretty interested to see how the Stinger infantry openers here work out. That's not GRU Stinger on the side of the 56 versus SAS with the Stinger post here on the side for second UK. Making helicopter plays a lot less efficient, and we still have Mi-24D helicopters on the side of Grandpotatoes, and I'm worried. Because against SAS and Saxons, the head sounds a bit suicidal. Not gonna lie to you guys. We have 3 SAS on the battlefield, so it's not a full-on SAS opener. Makes kind of sense. We have a couple more scouts here around. 3 more scout teams, and a Fox. I like the Fox. Finland 2 so far out as well. So it'll be interesting to see what follows this up. And yeah, that'll be a real interesting fight here. Once more, guys, if you want to support this season on via financially, you can do so on the Metrino. We are at $500 price pool so far, but you can push that even further with the contribute button up here. So yeah, just click on that and check it out. And also, you can find the newest WARNO Dispatch, Volume 7, on the website right now as well, over at PlaySDL. And if you have missed out all the previous ones about WARNO League, you can find them all down here as well, with all the stats and the news and all the gossip about WARNO League Season 5 and all the other stuff going on in WARNO in the meantime. So check that out over at the PlaySDL website. If you haven't read it up, haven't checked that out yet, you can find that in the chat right now as well. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Still moving forward. Mi-24Ds flying in, and the SAS coming in there, trying to run pretty deep. Might want to unload a bit earlier here to actually get their Stingers in position. Yep, there we go. Reposition, and the Mi-24s flying in. They got a bit cheaper here lately. So in a lot of matchups, I think they are actually viable now. But I don't think this is one of them. As you can see here, the first one pushed back. SAS actually getting smoked off by the Saxons there. That's actually making it a bit harder to get the kill there, but the kill happens nonetheless in the end. So one of these Session Redvedka is getting shut down completely. The second Mi-24D can't get off the ground right now because it would get shut down immediately by the SAS as well. So yeah, not sure if that was worthwhile. MP2, the Redvedka moving up as well. ZSU there, pretty scary for the SAS. Well, Redvedka, BMP2 in the south coming around as well. Scouts will figure this all out. Good position there, good eyes for Polynskill. Challenger with 2 warrior Milans coming around. Already more warriors than we saw in the last game. Stinger post GRU here versus SAS. The SAS on this short range have a massive advantage for ASVALs versus 6 C8s and 2 minimes. Plus Saxon fire support here coming in from the rear as well. So the Spetsnaz GRU about to go down. SAS over here pushing forward a bit as well. The Dejan Motrachetka killing off the Saxon, and the SAS a bit outnumbered here and not on their perfect range. The Challenger might be helpful. The Warrior will be really helpful as well with the autocannon now starting to help out there against the 30mm. But SAS still falling back for now, and I think that's a wise choice. SAS trying to get onto the BMP2s here. Will get a shutout, will get a kill. Ooh, doesn't get the second one. But with the kill against the Stingers and with the kill against the one BMP2, still did a decent job there. The Mi-24D trying to get away, gets shot down. Right, Tretka, BMP2 trying to get a kill onto the warrior. Good smoke there from Polynskill. Well, the next warrior infantry coming in. And here comes the Gazelle Swarm once more. With the Stinger post infantry killed off. There is a bit less to deal with them, but there are still 2 ZSUs, so not an easy time for them. Ooh, but we have some shenanigans here. Realign Fox making it into a bit of an ambush position. Has to be careful. A lot of autocannon BMP2s on the other side. T-62s coming around as well. But if you can get it into the right spot, you can get some nice ambushes here. And that might be a good line of sight. Actually not sure if it has enough time to get a shot out though there. Yeah, it's pushing on to a, let's say, better spot for this. Gulf Conquerors coming up. Gazelle rockets now starting to engage. ZSU goes down before it can get on top of this. Oh, the Gazelle's enabled. Good kill there. Milan 2 doing its job, disengaging afterwards as well. The +2 currently for Grandpotato is nice, but if you start losing all your units behind that, that doesn't really matter. Airmobiles coming around. We have a Afghansi coming around as well. I'm not a big fan of this thing. You already have the ZSU on the front line. And the anti-aircraft range of this thing, together with the longer aim time, doesn't mean that it's not really helpful against aircraft at all. And you have enough anti-helicopter as is in that division, so... And the BMP2s give you enough autocannons. It is good enough to deal with the Fox's only one front lamor though. So, yeah, Fox ambush not working out there. Afghansi just taking care of that. Bit lucky there for Grandpotato. That the Fox did choose a bit of a weak spot for that kind of ambush. Hotredvedka going down. Could have done it maybe from over here, where it wouldn't have been spotted immediately. Could have gotten some side shots. Airmobile scouts coming in to the front line in normal links. No rocket links here coming around just yet. But the airmobile over here, they come in the... Yeah, there's the Lynx rockets. Going to be a lot of fire here onto all of this infantry. Once the Gazelles are reloaded. Fox moving around as well. Challenger. Pretty important unit here. You don't get all that many. You only get 1 card, but they can be a nice unit that is quite hard to overcome for the enemy. Challenger needs to move back here though. Gets side-shotted, gets killed. Complete waste there by Polynskill. Moving forward there, and then not microing it any further. Really weird choice there. And that leaves the southern flank somewhat open. Next Milan 2 unit moving in here. Warrior Milan disengaging. Has to be careful. Can't one-shot the enemy with the Milan 1, but the Conquerors can one-shot the Warrior. So Warrior will lose the IFV fights here in this matchup. It is cheaper, but not by that much. Really wants to get into autocannon battle to do a bit more cost-efficient trades here. Whilst we have the first 107 artillery piece trying to help out with artillery fire, but the south under pressure. The amount of rocket helicopters here, pretty capable. Strela 10 trying to deal with that. And the lack of recon here is pretty big on the side of Polynskill now. Lost a lot of the recon. Still has the flank scouts, but the rest of the recon not really around. Brings another scout around now. That is pretty important. Has a Gazelle here as well. And some mobile scouts, but they are in a terrible spot. MP2 trying to push forward. Lynx rocket can do a bit of stress damage. And does the 1 damage that it needs for the Warrior Milan to actually get the 1-shot kill there with the Milan 1, but gets shut down right after. SAS get a good hit, but don't get the kill there. And are caught outside of the building, so they get gunned down right after. Milan 2 trying to push forward there. SES in the middle fought in a long-range fight as well. That's not what they want to be in as either. So currently, Grandpotato starting to get some good trades here. Warrior shooting first. Gets some good stun damage here out, but he's now out of ammo. And the BMP2s still can fire. Down to 1 hit point. Saxon disengaging. 107. Get into it. Fire with some artillery. Next challenger coming out. Saxon has to disengage here once more, as the Soviet infantry is pushing forward. Sergeant Medis in the BTR-70 with an EGS grenade launcher on top, moving in as well. The Warrior pretty important for dealing with those things, as they are shredding infantry, but they get killed off by autocannons real quick as well. Artillery does find its mark, gets the kill there on the recon infantry. More Warrior infantry coming up. Once the other side gets some more T-62s out. Those can deal pretty nicely with the Warriors, can give decent fire support as well. Against the Challengers, they will lose out in the gunfights over time. Not really doing any damage, but the Challengers with 0 veterancy also mean that they're pretty low on the reload and the accuracy. Down to 30% accuracy here now on full stress level. Warrior Milan. Get a hit, get some damage, and the focus fire is on the Challenger still, so can dodge a bit more. Rocket helicopter is getting reloaded. Tornado HE trying to find a bomb load. Both sides here super stressed out, not really hitting anything. Milan 1 not really doing any significant damage there either, but close miss. 7 trying to get some more damage. The bombing run here pretty good. Will kill the Bellador, will kill both BMP2s, damage the Strela. Tornado is damaged, but will survive, and the Chelly now can do a good bit more work. Chelly in the north still keeps on the damage. Ammobiles coming around, finding a side shot. Challenger still alive there. And that's the key part about the Challengers in this matchup. They can take some beating. The 18 frontal armor is the key factor here. So taking them with 0 vet for getting a bit more availability makes sense. As the Fox disengaging, because the rest of the units are supposed to do the killing, but they just do the tanking. Getting a bit more numbers out there at this point is more important than the kill of the units. The Warriors on 0 vet I feel like is a bit off. I think they should be 1 vet, but at least you get more IVs this way as well. You don't get that many out of this deck, so could make sense as well. So as I said, not the biggest fan there. 107. Be aiming for the Conquerors. Good target. +2 here right now for Grandpotato though. So Polynskill is getting a bit overwhelmed here. The 2 pure BMP2 and Sergeant Nikki spam that you can do as 56 is pretty scary and makes it pretty hard to push the division later on in the game. I think the artillery could help with that, continuously getting value. So second gun might be helpful, but for now, a bit down to the armored rifles, and they're not in the greatest spot to do it. Next aim here for the M107, but down to only 1 round. No reload coming in for it just yet. Soldiers pretty stressed out still. Warriors here coming around, pushing back the BGS, the BTR. Ural goes down, but so goes the Warrior. 2 there, finding the shot. Scouts trying to find more here as well. Artillery gets a good hit, but doesn't get the kill. Needs a resupply badly as well. Infantry is pushing forward, including the Fox. Is a T-62 MD in here. He's slightly stressed. Fox in danger. Needs to smoke off. Engages. Challenger and Warrior aiming time and again. Fox goes down to the C-62. Challenger not close enough behind it. Next Challenger CV coming up here for the southern flank as well. Warrior goes down once more. The M107 needs a reload pretty badly. Get back into the action. Sergeant Medis. The fire rocket helicopters trying to rotate around. There are a decent amount of Strellas here. Challenger pushing up. Has to be careful to not get side-shotted. And currently also doesn't have a line of sight. Now gets the bailout. Okay, that's key. The repair truck is right behind it, but as long as it takes damage, it doesn't get fixed. So Challenger gets the kill there. XT-62 down. Scouts here on a great flank. Allowing the infantry to push a bit closer. The tanks here to push a bit closer. Scout team over here. Be able to find a bit of stuff for this as well. Lynx doesn't get shot at. Bella moves around. Modrejvedka. Bit of the warrior. Helicopter is pushing forward, but there are enough units here. With AA, with the Stinger and the Strela. Challenger gets the Strela at least though. Stinger post. Only down to 2 shots, so Lynxes here do survive. Second M107 comes around again. Starts to do some decent damage as well. That artillery can be pretty deadly. You need to stop the take here relatively soon as Polynskill though, if you want to get the control back over this. Point lead nearly at 1000. Not something that you can allow to happen. 7 moving forward. Second one re-aiming for the Spetsnaz. Else one more infantry just floods in here. The BMP2 printer keeps on going. Not as cost efficient as it has been in the past. Pay a decent price now for this, but you can still get a lot of them. Good bombing run by the HE tornado though, and that could be a problem for the 56. They don't have great anti-aircraft AA on the ground. Eagles and Strellas not that fantastic at dealing with high ECM planes. And that are also really fast and far away from them. So you can use your MiG-23s, but the other side, with their Phantoms, has decent fighters there as well. The Spectropeers are doing a decent job there against the aircraft too. And 107s moving around, Challengers keep on firing away from the rear now. Dealing okay HE damage here. The M107's really doing a pretty good job, but the pure numbers here once more coming up. Challenger getting another kill, but getting heavily stressed out. Armored rifles just trying to get on target here. Challenger pushed back again. New infantry needed. Mobile scouts pushing in quickly. Armored rifles get the kill against the ZSU. So they at least paid off. They're likely not going to do anything more. And the push in the south here now is mandatory if you want to get around here and don't fall super far behind. The M107's finding good targets here once more. So value still generated in these trades here right now on the side of Polynskill, but Grandpotato with the more flexible deck here, like more flexible formation right now out of pure infantry and BMP2s, keeps up the pressure in the north. Question is, how long can they keep it up? Can they keep it long enough up for getting the point lead here high enough to get the victory, maybe even with 2000 points? Or will the better trade of the artillery and the remaining heavy tanks here do it for Polynskill in the long run? The Challenger still being alive is a really key factor. Not allowed to lose that here as Polynskill. The reinforcements here can't arrive fast enough. MP2 engaging southwards here. Challenger moving around. Will try to get some more kills against MP2s. Gets a good hit there. There comes the Nikki versus the Challenger. Important smoke off. The Puma gets overwhelmed here as well. Gets routed. Forced to take off, which might be a good thing for it actually. Might save its life. But ooh, airborne units dropping into the north as well. Challengers here. Engaging against the T-62. Getting a hit, but the Challenger now showing side armor. Okay, important turnaround there. Needs to get the hell out of there. Whilst Warrior engaging against the Nikki here. The Nikki Medis, pretty scary for them as well. Armored rifle pushing forward, getting stunned down. Challenger moving around towards the north. Rana coming up. Challenger needs to get the hell out of there. Starts to move in time. Challenger over here. Last man standing once more as the warriors all go down, but the BMP2 goes down on the other side as well. The RPG-7 VL gets in range. Frontally, it doesn't do that much damage though. Lynx still do good anti-infantry damage there. The rocket helicopters here in the rear come around, but the Challenger in the south goes down. Oh, gets wasted there completely. The BMP2 just gets the free kill there. Bad movement there from Polynskill, as the third Challenger would have been so helpful here. Next, yeah, one being brought up, but that is an important loss there. One of them is worth more than 3 BMP2s on the other side, so you have to be careful there. My 8 rocket against warrior, close fight there. Challenger pushing in on its own. Infantry only following up right behind it, but that leaves it open for side shots. HE bombing run coming in. The tornado this time though taking a bad path, going down. Not worthwhile. Challenger gets the kill against BMP2. And the warrior here in the north keeps on doing some damage as well. Air mobiles with the low 80 coming around. Second HE, oh no, gets completely wasted. Oh, Polynskill feeling the pressure maybe a bit too much here. Just like there's still 8 minutes time here point wise, so he didn't necessarily need to get immediately in here. So the double bombing run there, a bit over eager there maybe. Armored rifles here not getting the hit either, and now 2 important assets completely wasted, leaving them with less tools to deal with all of this. Still has rockets, still has the support of the M107s that get into the action. Air mobiles getting some good hit, but the capture of the rear zone in the north, pretty annoying. Challenger with fuel explosion, that's quite annoying as well. The Zell rockets here trying to come around, trying to win out some infantry fights for the blue team. And the Challenger here gets killed off by the Deshaniki. Challenger moving around, and there we go. GGVP. Polynskill tapping out, and even was ahead in KD there a bit. But yeah, just a couple too many overextensions there in the last couple of minutes. It was on the knife's edge. Grandpotato's combined arms, I think, could have fallen apart with 1 or 2 more losses on BMP2s and 1 Challenger more alive at this point. Polynskill, I think, could have run this over, but because they had more support tools and they lost some of those support tools, the frontline was looking weaker for them there. Yeah, with the time remaining and the point lead, I think, yeah, it was a pretty tough position there for the second UK. But good fight here. And yeah, a bit of a weird opener from Grandpotato there with the Mi-24Ds, but they kept the pressure up and they made the old school 56 playstyle work once more. It's not as OP as it had been in the past, but it still for sure has its strengths. And GGVP there, fire player in red here, getting a score on the board. And we'll see if Polynskill can retaliate or Grandpotato will win the series here in the second. second map is Mount River here with Grandpotato versus Polynskill. And we have T72 versus T72 action here ahead of us. First, Tankova with the T72S versus the Polish with the Valkyr of the 20th Panzerna. T55As here already deploying as well. Let's have BMP ones and the Honker-Rus, obviously, as the fast pad. Special Forces Recon on the other side as well, but in slightly slower transports. BMP2 transports on the Recon though. And help out winning the fights once the fighting line has been created. But yeah, the speed here in the in Grandpotato's favor. BMP1's moving south, ZSU 23 moving in pretty aggressively as well, as you want to use them as AA and anti-infantry at the same time. Again, its enemy side can't bring me 2 helicopters, so makes sense to use them. We have BMP2, Motostreltsy, RPG-7 units here, and the T-72S with the severe missile that is really efficient, fast-flying, long-range ATGM to lock down units on open fields, one-shot BMP-1s and BMP-2s on the other side, and can deal decent damage against the T-72s and T-55As on the other side as well, and then lead the charge afterwards. As a pure gun-focused one, it's not cost-efficient, so you want to use severe decent bit as well. Then we have Fagot team moving south. Both sides only having the Fagot as an ATGM, no Conqueror's infantry-based ATGM. Meaning that BMP2s have a decent time here, not quite getting one-shot by that. Both sides can bring those around as well, but BMP1s here, even after the nerf, still pretty cost-efficient for 30 points. Without smoke, still bringing ATGM around though. So we still see those 2 star veterancy on them, upvetted from the CV BMP1 here. That will go around, capture the south. One in the north here for Olga. And the other side, decent focus around Sign. Honker-Rus here over that point. And focus more towards Anna and Paul. And that is usually how the map is split. That one side gets Sign, the other side gets Paul and Anna. Going to be interesting to see if Grandpotato can get control of it. It looks like it, with the Honker-Rus here outpacing the other side pretty significantly. Also coming around here has a quick anti-helicopter. Honker-Rus will find entrance into the northern town as well, and that could be dangerous for the BMP2. But it doesn't have direct line of sight here, so BMP2 still might be able to unload. But yeah, I wouldn't quite go that far to the unload position. Hospitality moving in. I don't quite get a shot off. Lucky there for our red player. BMP2's pushing towards the center. Now the Rospecialnies are outgunned here by the double MG mod units on the other side. BMP2 does disengage. That's the right choice. Keeping it out of AT range. Honker-Rus got shut down immediately as well. Finally, they're gonna go down 2. Ooh, the mod Svidachi, yeah, trying to move through the center with a smokeless BMP1. That's a bit of a weird choice. Or maybe just a mistake. GSR here in a good spot, but the GSR on the other side will find them soon, and then these Specialnies are likely gonna go down as well. The Cross Specialny in the south will buy a bit of extra time for the ZSU for the infantry round and for the T-55 plus BMP1 push. But yeah, GSR gets spotted here, gets gunned down, and Grandpotato just not having the firepower here with him that the other side brings, and gets overwhelmed by that. Investing into the speed, but not really getting any ambushes done. And then the firepower of the Czechs is just a bit better than the firepower of the Polish here so far. And that leads to pretty bad trades. BMP2 here shuts down the ZSU immediately as well. One moving forward. My 24D using the kill on ZSU to help out now. We have some fire control as well, and only skill with a really, really good opener here. Really stable. A bit lucky in the north. If that would have got the BMP2 that would have gotten killed, then Grandpotato maybe could have pushed immediately towards Leonid, but that didn't happen, and now we have Grandpotato in a good bit of trouble. Needs to start to find some value here, and instead is losing another T55A. This game has the potential of going quick if these trades continue that badly. Grandpotato really needs to start getting some kills here. Now my 24D moving forward. And yeah, we have Poop engaging here. Two moving up as well. Getting engaged. Morph completely silent, and the Grandpotato invested more there, but can't really use it right now. That's a big issue, as they're so behind in the south now. Maybe they can stabilize. Triple T72M1 running onto the battlefield. But the question is anything still alive in front of the T72s when they get to the front line? T55 might not be. Recon infantry all about to go down here as well. Hospitality trying to engage. Next BMP1 does drop into the dust as well. At least the last one has survived for now. 5A trying to disengage. Infantry gets engaged. Tough one here, really. And Potato not finding a footing here. Really a Timon kind of opener, but not quite having the position here maybe to follow that up Timon style and turning it around, but that is kind of what's necessary here. At least getting rid of the enemy recon. Still has a decent advantage point with that recon positioning here. That might allow to start to get some kills here. Ooh, just BMP1 in there. S22. And that finds some value. Okay, gets a kill. Gets immediately hit by the OSA. If you lose that, this would be a disaster. Okay, it does survive. T55A engages the Svatava. BMP1 at least gets around to capture the point here. At least will get a lead here up for Grandpotato that is above 100 points. But holding this spot won't be easy. BMP1 for the center point already in the way to stop the tick. T72 M1s now coming in. EM3s, T72s here on the other side. BMP2 coming around too. Falling back while the next T72S comes around. The E3s are weaker than the M1s. It's the 15 frontal armor one versus the 17 frontal armor one. So the tank fights there in gun range are in favor of the Polish. 72S just having a bit more frontal armor, but as a gun-based platform, that less cost efficient than the M1. Rospesnelny and the Piotr Smack here trying to find some value, but M1 here, ME3 disengaging. Potostrelci finding a kill against the BMP. And the BMP2 and the T72 now shooting up the infantry here. Once trying to find the flank, but there is the Motostrelci here already. So that should reveal it, and also has the chance of maybe even crippling one of them immediately. Rospesnelny going down. The trades here still not up for a player in blue. The SU-22 kill was an okay start, but wasn't really a game changer. Next one coming in, but more AA on the way on the other side as well. And you can't one-shot the D72S frontally with these things, as the 18 frontal armor plus the extra hit point mean that you leave it at 2 or 3 hit points remaining. 22 could one-shot these E3s, but that wouldn't really get you the opening here. 72 M1s staying more defensive instead. 200 point lead. T72M. Oh, taking the wrong pathing again. Yeah, Grandpotato realizing that. My 2 coming around, and yeah, there's so little in front of the T72s. BMP2s slowly pushing forward, spotting the Piotr Smack. Will light him up. And Grandpotato will need to hope that his opponent overextends here a bit and eats a bit into his T72s. As Like, from the pure forces, the setup capabilities are way in favor of the red team here. Two coming up. Another one on the battlefield. Kill there. Next M. M moving in. M1 engaging against the Fagot. E3 gets shut down, but SC-22 flies over 2 OSAs. So gets shut down there as well. That's not a cost-efficient trade. And another bad trade there for Grandpotato. Stays in trouble. +1 for the other side. And there is a E3 up here in the north already as well. BMP1 dies with units inside still to the Fagot team as well. This game really not going well for Grandpotato yet. It's going to be tougher and tougher to actually turn it around. Chelsea RPG pushing in. Polynskill here with a really clean game so far. F2S gets hit. M1 doesn't get hit by the HGM. MP2 trying to help out. Gets the stun there. The S disengaging here away from the M1s. Next T-72S on the way. Both sides have Dana artillery, which can be pretty helpful. And then there goes an M1 without getting any important kill on the other side. So next bad trade here on the side of Grandpotato. GM's getting involved once more. Gets hit frontally. We have Dana coming in the north. +1 tick, +2 tick now. For Polynskill already in draw territory now. Just improving on that minute by minute right now. A lot, 2 more T-72Ss coming up. Next BMP2 as well. And yeah, if you're this far ahead, just buy those tanks. They might not be as cost efficient on the other side, but they are better than the tanks on the other side. So if you just have more of them than the enemy has of theirs, you're gonna win the fights. And T-72M here can't smoke as we use the forest to deal with ATGMs, and T-72Ms here getting pushed out of the next position as well. Low push forward here. With a player in red. The next T-72S comes in behind. So we will have 5 of them in the south versus only 2 CC-72 M1s, a Wilk and an M on the other side. So 5 versus 4, potentially 6 with the one from the middle. More BMP2s on the left side as well, so more infantry too. Everything currently speaks for Polynskill. One BMP2 at least gets shut down there. Not great aggressively, but in return we get the M killed as well, so Polynskill once more with a good trade. Hellene here will get shot at. Sort of tracks here, the broken tracks of this T-72S. A bit annoying for Polynskill. Should be able to survive this as well. Nothing here really with killing power. Well, Danas actually, they're aiming in another direction. Good target there as well. M2S now getting involved in the south. Tracks nearly fixed. BMP2s coming around as well. E3 reinforcements coming in for the north, so even if this one dies, push in not gonna be easy. And Polynskill does move it relatively early. Might not be fast enough though. Double Dana fire rate, pretty good. Looking pretty decent for the E3 right now though. 2 S's in the south. Getting into a gunfight with the Wilk. That's not great. So it should disengage here relatively soon, but has a lot of fire support around it. Has 2 more T-72Ss coming to its help. 2 helping out against infantry. Yeah, should get the hell out of there. Just try to smoke off now. It just disengages The Wilk not dealing all that much damage. BMP2's here now, getting involved in the south. But yeah, one stay behind. Some 2S's that got out alive. One in the north still alive as well. But the Wilk and the BMP1 here under fire. Infantry in front of it got killed off. BMP2 pushed back. Have a Dana now on the left side as well. The Dana from the other side will start engaging here. +2 constantly up for the player in red. So you want to keep up the pressure here, but you don't need to push actively into the point as Polynskill. You just need to keep up the damage and keep on trading equally at least. If possible, positively, so that you just keep on getting ahead here. You have the tools to do that. Just better arc, better firepower on the units you have combined here. Yeah, there goes another BMP1, without getting any value on the other side. Salty enabling some more the Pichota smack on the open field. They just gonna die. They have nowhere to go, they don't have smoke. And no other units can really push around to help them. The units like this T-72M is just gonna risk themselves. So next infantry unit they're killed off without any value gained. Very coming in from the rear. Next Pichota smack just gonna get top without really achieving anything. Vilk getting into the combat here. T-72S could potentially even push that. SU-22 goes down without generating much. On BMP2 goes down on the other side, but that's a great trade once more for Polynskill, and this is how you want to play games like this as Polynskill. And I feel like Grandpotato's only way is slowing down the losses in the trades and just trying to avoid any losses, but not really what happens, and then trying to maybe pull ahead with better artillery play. I got targeted right now in the north, but at the same time losses in itself, and you don't even have a long-term artillery advantage because the other side has good stuff as well. Ooh, gets a T-72S there. Bosa's getting good damage. One of them is empty now though. So this T-70... No, SU-22 still goes down. Did at least trade up slightly in points, but more T-72s here on the side of Polynskill coming in. Artillery trying to hit the coop. Doesn't quite get it yet. 72S helping out against the smack. Coop on the fire. Does stay alive for now. This has to be repaired. Multistrelki RPG. Pushing forward. Infantry goes down. Batava trying to help out in the south. M1 here being spotted. The BMP2s can't really do it on their own, but the Vilk here in some trouble as well. Multistrelki with RPGs pushing onto it, and then the C-72s and BMPs with a potential way on top of it. No direct flanking shot timing here, so more value is needed, more damage output is needed to kill the Vilk. But yeah, that is around. Here, actually going for the BMPs. Vilk does survive. Literally hitting the T-72S. Currently not moving away. Ooh. Only now starts moving. That's too late. That is what Grandpotato needs a lot more of. Like, next salvo, if you can reliably kill a couple of T-72s with those salvos, you might be able to get back into the game. At the same time though, losing the Vilk doesn't get you back into it. And that's exactly what happened there, so... yeah, getting an S for Vilk, that's not great at this stage. And BMP2 here getting involved. Counter battery, as I said earlier, pretty wasted. Dana's not good at counter battery, even if you hit where the enemy is at. And if the enemy has Danas, they can move around quite easily. Get out. Next T-72S on the fire here. Yutka coming up. More T-72 for the north, but there are two on the other side as well. BMP2s coming up there too. Whilst the red side keeps a +2, has a 500 point lead, keeps up taking, has a foothold here that maybe they could push for getting more points as well. And get Danas here, trying to come around. Don't think it's corrected shot though. And yeah, They don't get the damage really done quick enough to get the stun quick enough to keep on hitting. So Sim2S only gets some damage and can get away afterwards. And that is not enough. Damaging is not enough right now because they don't have the follow-up to really force kills out of damage. And meantime, North gets one more entrenched. South already is. And the South also keeps the point tick up together with the center captured. Means that the Danas have even more work ahead of them. Dana from the other side, now coming around, generating some value, taking away a recon unit that enabled to even find the T-72s here. So they fire towards the T-72s in the south as well, so damage there too, slowing the build-up of Grandpotato's forces. More T-72s coming in, two T-3s. Yeah, CV needed here to get this through, but Grandpotato is in a terrible, terrible spot. Rates in the early game just kept on not going in their favor. Polynskill not really putting up the real pressure here, so Grandpotato still has a combined arms, but it's just a lot weaker combined arms that you have to find a real magic way to make work. Dana here getting a good kill, maybe taking over the middle and then making that a fortress. Could be that way. Good flanking maneuver here. And Polynskill has to react here now. Has to risk it a bit. SU-22 coming around. Doesn't get a hit with the first missile. Gotta get a missile out on the north? No. And there goes another T-55. M2, M1 pretty low. Goes down as well, so Grandpotato once more with not so great trades and loses the SU-22 here as well. So in the end, Grandpotato with bad trades again might get into the point in the middle, but a lot of T-72s and MP2s reacting there now. And the issue is with no conquerors that you can put in there, gonna be tough to hold that. The E3 on the other side at least goes down. Perji coming up. Danas haven't found a new spot to fire upon. More Mi-24Ds rolling in onto the battlefield. Trying to help out with the center fight, but it's not the core missile ones. Palangas, they don't quite have the range and they also fly pretty slowly. So the enemy has a lot of time to react to them. Palanga, the Malutka P here does a decent amount of damage. So the center gets captured. BMP-1 still far away from getting in there and getting the tick around though. That's got a smack. Not having the RPG to really kill a T-72 frontally. Mi-17 with the rocket coming around. Dana artillery trying to generate some value as well. 10M pushing the units back a bit, but there is so much firepower here. The M1 here in trouble as well, gets stunned down. Ooh. Doesn't smoke off. Gets another shutout, but no hit. And still no smoke. About to go down, gets stunned down again. As the Mi-24s at least get into it. Ooh, good kill here against the E3 on the other side, but M1 goes down. BMP-2 in trouble. T-72s bit pushed out, and yep, Polynskill not really pushing enough pressure on yet, considering the amount of forces they have. But they are about to get the southern point, and that would mean that the middle point capture still wouldn't generate any points for Grandpotato, so Polynskill would stay ahead on points, and they have the more cost-efficient trades here still. To M1 about to go down to the rockets. Malutka P will go about down here a second most likely as well. Not finding the hit against M2S. Going down BMP2. Danas. Keep up the fire. There we go. Capture both ways, so take about to end here once more. But more BMP2s coming up. And as I said, it's gonna be really tough to hold the middle for Grandpotato as more and more units arrive. OSAS pushing back the Mi-24s. Well, we have MiG-21 HE trying to do a dive here, but not really anything changing the whole shebang. Whilst TV got in here under fire by bananas, but doesn't get killed off with one salvo. There's enough fire support here behind all of this to kill any infantry or IP that tries to push onto the CV on its own. BM fire in the south will go both ways as well. BMP-1 leader about to get shut down again. There are 3 T-72s down there, so not as easy to overcome, but there are 3 T-72s plus BMP-2s here as well on the other side. So if Polynskill would want to push it, they could do that too. That's the middle, nearly cleaned out again. Nearly enables the BMP-1 back in there. T-72S stays alive. The one can disengage. P not strong enough either. Dana going for the BMP-1 here. Both sides likely, yeah, aiming on each other's CVs. BMP-1 about to go down, but the other one goes first. So Dawn will stay neutral. Last one for Grandpotato. He's getting a bit more points, but that's not gonna be all that much here. 40 points per minute. MP2s HD72 M1 in the south. One of them going down again. And yeah, this is problematic. This is not enough. E3 needs to get shut down. If you could double team the enemy T72s here reliably, then maybe there's a way, but nope. That the T72 of Grandpotato dies. Would have to have really good micro to have some shot of getting back here. And the micro seems to be somewhat equal, if not even in the favor of Polynskill in this series. So yeah, with the disadvantage from the beginning of the game, I feel like Grandpotato needed to risk a bit more once realizing that the early game did go so poorly, and maybe do a push towards Leonid, maybe do a bit more flanking action, but yeah, that just all fell apart quite quickly. And even though the game went on for a good while now, it was not really close at any point here with the trades time and again. Like, there was no real fight that ever went full on Grandpotato's way. Every single fight went the side of the player in red here, or at least equal. And yeah, really clean play here from Polynskill. In game number 1, they maybe got a bit overzealous with the support tools a bit too quickly. Too many rocket helicopters, the artillery, and all of that stuff, and didn't have enough bread and butter units. But this time around, they just played those bread and butter units perfectly, whilst not letting the enemy get away with artillery play either. Keeping up similar firepower with their 2 Danas. And yeah, just kept on trading up and up and up. And now they're so far ahead that they basically could A-click across the map. They don't do that because they don't want to put themselves into any risks they don't need to be in. They are so far ahead that the chances of the enemy ever coming back, even if you let them be, would be highly unlikely. But yeah, they could just A-click over everything on the other side. They have a T-55, T-72 push in the north, so one final hurrah here. Strela then trying to push with this as well. The Tu-143 though will see this all. Mi-24D gonna get involved. With the strategy RPG 7 not that great there, but even if you lose the north, you would still be fine here, as Polynskill would still be up on the take. And they are currently winning the south. 72 M1s here on the fire, and the north still gets done down here. Mi-24D pushing forward. BMP2s could rotate up north as well. One on the fire there, and the T-72s in the south all go down, so this can just push into the rear zone, into Ivan now. Next T-72S in the north, and yeah, this will be a pretty clear KD this game. Last one was quite close. The MiG-23BN rocket coming around here. Just trying to get some more damage done. Doesn't spot the enemy in time. So has to come around again. But there we go. GG is called. And Grandpotato surrenders to Polynskill. And yeah, the KD here in the end, 2-1. Really, really clean game. Constantly trading up and up and up and up. And in the end, winning decisively, well deserved against Grandpotato. And that getting back a point on the scoreboard here and leaving it at a draw. So yeah, well played here. Really good show of how to play stable and using your lead without ever overstepping their welcome. As I said, I've maybe played a bit more aggressive, but they never really needed to after getting the 2+2 take online. And yeah, Mount River is a perfect map for a play like this, and I think that's why we got to see it. And yep, well-deserved victory here in the end. That said, we're gonna end it here, guys. My voice is about to crack here, but we're gonna be back with a lot more of this stuff over the upcoming days. So don't worry, the next 2 days gonna have a lot of WARNO League coming your way, and afterwards we will have on Friday more of the WARNO multiplayer campaign coming your way as well, which I really enjoy as well. The forces that you have in the new Close the Gap campaign with the Czechoslovaks and the French look really exciting and a lot different to what you have in the other campaigns. So that should be fun too. Yeah, see you all around. Have a great day. Thanks for the subscription once more, Superxavi. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like down below and follow if you want to see more. See you all next time.